Wednesday, right?
It is
Good
Wednesday.
morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, as Megan is telling me. This went live really fast. All right. So today, our topic with my virtual CFO, and she could be yours too, Megan Dahle. Hello, Megan.
Good morning, Nancy.
All right. So we're going live on Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook in 2 different places and your Facebook. So let's get on with this subject because this is a fun one, because you're actually going to talk about their cash, like their available money that we're hoping people have in their business, correct?
Yes, that's the point, right? Like the point of the business is to not only provide a profession that you enjoy and that you get some satisfaction out of, but at the same time support your personal life as well, right?
Yes.
Like the true freedom comes in the ability to rest. And we want to make sure that that's what's available to you, the fruit of all of this work for you.
I was talking to someone yesterday and I'm like, it's kind of like a hobby until you're making a profit.
Yeah.
Kind of. Like we want to get it to where it's serving your personal life. And that's when it's going not to be a hobby anymore.
Right. And so we've talked about this before, but I think it's important that we reiterate. And I want to work a little bit backwards today. Work backwards from like the end goal of the money, the cash, and the jobs that it completes, and how is that being used in your day-to-day and how you can kind of keep track of it. So your money has 3 jobs. Your resources have 3 jobs in your business. It is to grow, it is to protect, and it is to reward.
Grow, protect, and reward.
You want to be able to grow your business as you see fit. You want to be able to protect what you have built, and you personally should be able to reward yourself from the fruits of those labors. Okay. All right. So now that we have the jobs that the money is doing, we want to make sure that the instant it is coming in, even before it comes in, that it is assigned one of these jobs. Yes, Nancy, is that a question?
Yes, I have a question and a little bit of a statement. When you start out a business with $3,000 out of your personal account and you start your business, if you never show a profit in your business, you're always going to land with that $3,000. Correct? Like, how do you get? I remember when I was in business 25 years ago, and I thought to myself, how do I get enough money to reinvest in my business? Because I'm making money and I'm taking it all out because I'm supposed to pay myself. And I got into this story in my head, like I can't pay myself. I have to keep reinvesting in the business to grow that beginning balance. So when you said either the money's to grow, protect, or reward, that's a lesson I never got back then and didn't understand that I wasn't just supposed to, I'm making money, let me take it all out.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't leave anything in to grow my business is my point. And in other years, I left everything in to grow my business. Right. So I'm happy to have this conversation, even if it's again, because I think that new business owners don't always understand that.
Right. And I think especially for interior designers, because there is complexity with the cash management, it's just more complex for interior designers because you are handling design money, you are handling product money, you are handling other people's money that is either going to flow through to a vendor, or you have to hold on to it for a contractor, or it's a retainer that you haven't earned the cash yet. There is levels of complexity. Yes, taxes. Yes, that's part of the protecting what you've built, right? Like, that's part of the protection part there. And so if we were to assign a job, not to say that is definitely that piece, that dime is going to absolutely 100% go to that job. But if we can start making estimates at the front end, when the money comes in, and use bank balance accounting, we open up accounts, we open up multiple accounts that are assigned those jobs. I have a bank account for taxes. I have a bank account that's going to go toward marketing. I have a bank account that is meant to pay me. I have a bank account that is meant to sponsor my trip to the IDS National Conference, like the things that help me grow, the things that help me protect. And I have a bank account for other people's money. That's like, don't spend this because it belongs to a vendor 3 months from now, even though I've been paid for it now.
Right.
Is robbing Peter to pay Paul. Now, if we have these accounts that we can look at and say, okay, I feel good. I'm not going to touch that because it belongs to them. I'm not going to touch that because I'm going to use that in a month. I'm going to use this one next week to make sure that I'm da-da-da-da-da. And then you can see the deficiency, right? Like in that helps you uncover the stories that you tell yourself, the justifications that you maybe have been using. They're like, I'm going to kick this can. Sure, it's going to create a problem 3 months from now, but that's future Maggie's problem. Future Maggie will figure it out.
Exactly. Are you saying we shouldn't do that?
I say don't do that. Don't do that. Poor future Maggie needs some love too. Okay.
All right. So our future selves need to be proud of the decisions we make now when it comes to
that's a great way of putting that. That's a great way of putting that, right?
Okay.
Like how many times do we really like poop on ourselves? Like,
oh yeah, we overspend and then go, oh no, I got to pull it back, and then we got to try to make more to cover the overspend, and we just keep going back and forth in our businesses. Where what you're saying is, gee, $20,000 is coming in. Where is that? How am I chopping up a $20,000 profit for taxes, payroll, salary, whatever, yourself, future growth of your business, a future conference you want to go to, coaching you want to do, whatever. Allocate percentages of profit to these different buckets, correct?
Yes. Now, oftentimes the most resistance I hear from this is, well, Megan, I'm bad at numbers, or that seems complicated. That seems hard. One, it's not, right? Did you ever play with the money from the Monopoly board when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Like pull out the Monopoly board. Yeah. Right. So it's just like putting your money in different piles. It just happens to be in bank account format. It's not hard.
I look at it like envelopes, like my mother used to use when we were really young. Here's the food shopping. Here's the clothes allocation for each kid. Here's like my mother had little envelopes. It was the monthly expenses. And once we were out of that money, we're out of that money.
Yes. And so anytime you're telling yourself that this is too hard or I can't afford to do that, I don't buy it. There is something that story is covering for, some insecurity, some fear, something that is covering for, like I don't have the belief in myself that I am going to be able to go and do this type of marketing, or I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to talk to people one-on-one. I don't want to make the invitations. Why can't they just show up on my doorstep? Yeah. Or, there are so many money stories that come along with reasons why this can't be done. But this exercise is if you can give yourself the room and surround yourself in the love that you are safe and it is okay, and you are just going to take a peek. You're going to try this and take a look and see what happens, and be completely non-judgmental with yourself and completely real with yourself. Remember to relax. If you're finding some tension in a part of your body, just address it. Be like, oh,
it's okay to look at your money and figure out how you're spending it and whether you're spending it well or not.
Yes.
So we're saying, are you spending it to grow your business, protect your business, or reward yourself for running your business properly in the proper percentage? Let me ask you something, Megan, though. So everyone who's listening, who hasn't done this before, does not use a profit first type money management system for this. I call it a psychological money management system. Now they're sitting with $50,000 in the bank. Where do you start? How do you even start? Because it's so, I think, intimidating. Like, I got 50,000. First, I think as a designer, they have to figure out what's not their money. What do they still owe in taxes? What is client money, or for furniture, or what is for an industry partner they need to pay in the future, and make sure they know that, correct?
Yes, 100%. You nailed it. Just what is not mine, right? That's the most
starting point.
Dangerous piece that I see, where people like almost lose their minds because of the fear and that they have caused for their future selves by using other people's money for something else.
I mean, I've seen it time and time again. A designer will get $50,000. It's $10,000 in design fee, $40,000 in furnishings. And they're like, yay, I get to pay my bills. And they pay it all. And then that job goes south. Something happens. The clients get upset. And the designer looks at me and says, I spent that money. And I'm like, you cannot spend the money. That's not yours.
Right.
Accounting 101.
Yep.
Don't spend money that's not yours.
Yep.
Okay. So give some suggestions on how to get this started.
So I always like to start with where you're at, right? Like once we have divvied out the money that's not yours, right, belongs to somebody else, we're just going to pretend that that money doesn't even exist. We're going to put it in a bank account over here, and we have a pool of money that's left. Now, you have a history of how your money has been used. It might not be in QuickBooks, it might not be in any accounting, but it's probably either in your credit card statements or in your bank statements. But we can look and see where it has been going. How much have you been paying yourself? How much have you been towards expenses? All these different places. And we use that as a starting point, because what we don't want to do is like flip a switch and say, a perfect business would be paying themselves 50% of that. And this month we're going to check. We want to know what has been happening. I've been paying myself about this amount, and we massage it, right? Like if I have $15,000 left, I want $5,000 for my owner pay. I've got expenses over here of $7,000 a month, and all these different places. And oh crap, that's more than what I have.
Right.
Uh-oh, what do I do? We start backing off, right? Like a decision is going to have to be made.
Mm-hmm.
We want to look in the future. Do we have more invoices that are out, that cash is coming in? We want to see where, when, and how much is coming in the future. And we want to plan for it. If a train
and how much is going out, right? If you're paying
how much
rent every month, your phone every month, your car insurance every month, is that
Yep.
coming out of your business? What are your base expenses for the softwares you use? So if you had 50,000 in the bank, you realized 40,000 is not yours, you're left with 10,000. Now you got to go, what is definitely have to be paid in the next month, and what could be coming in? Definitely coming in, and then could be coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the part where it's like, okay, if you are finding a point where you are just so like immobilized, can't move because of, oh my gosh, I'm running out of cash or whatever the case may be, I want you to just sit for a minute and be like, what is the absolute worst thing that would happen if I didn't pay it this week? What happens if I pay these next week? What happens if I pay these next month? Right? And if it is the case that you are going to harm your capacity to serve the business that you already have, that's going to be number one. You want to be able to get the business that you already have in the door, out the door. We're going to protect our capacity. Okay. But only to the point that that's the capacity that we need. If you have an employee that is working 40 hours a week, but you only have 20 hours a week worth of work for them to do, billable work for them to do, it's time to cut the capacity. Protect the capacity. Protect the capacity. Now that we can
take decisions that business owners have to make sometimes, letting people go, reducing their hours, reducing their hourly rate, doing it, looking at the software, what don't they need, what are they paying for unnecessarily, like really dig in.
Yes. And now we want to look at if once our capacity, we can take care of the business that we have, because that's the most inexpensive business, right? It's expensive to go out and find new business and more business. So take care of our capacity. Then we want to take care of what's working in our sales. Well, I have a salesperson or I have a marketing person that works 40 hours a week for me, but our sales have been tanking, and well, are they really working for you? Is it time to go find a different well? Is it time to shift something for a more effective marketing that may be something scary, like going out and actually talking to people, networking, making human connections, flesh to flesh handshakes, introductions, the hard things that are actually quite effective and quite inexpensive. To take care of the sales. So we're going to work backwards. We've taken care of capacity. We've rounded up our sales, and we want to make sure that our work and our marketing, the things that we stand for, are. I don't think this can ever be perfected. I don't think you can ever perfect your messaging, but you can get better at it. You can be more self-critical and self-aware of, is what I'm putting out into the world safe? Does it show a perspective? Does it needle some people the wrong way? Because that helps, either create the controversy or sort themselves out, or people be like, oh my gosh, they are finally articulating something that was deep inside me, but nobody else has the guts to say.
Well, that's called polarizing, and it works. It's a little dangerous, but you can do it. There's right ways to do it and what I would consider wrong ways to do it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Don't want to punch down. It's okay to punch up, but don't punch down. There are other rules to be had there as well. But there are definitely more ways that you can be effective with the resources that you have that way. So evaluating what you know is coming, and comparing it to what you think you need and what you actually need are two different things. And it's an incredibly brave exercise. And I'm not asking you to do it like make it a habit. I'm asking you to do it once. Do it
So
one
what's
time.
the bare minimum I need to run this business to handle the capacity I currently have? And then what do I need and what do I really want?
Yes. What do I think I need and what do I need?
Right. What do I think I need? What do I really need? And then what do I really want? Could be like another exercise. Okay. So give an example. If you have $10,000 in payroll a month for your business, and you're doing this exercise, and you have another, let's say, $3,000 worth of other things, how much would you like? So say 13,000 is what someone needs minimum, and that's not even paying themselves. Right? That's not okay. So you're going to pump that up to, well, maybe I actually need 15. I'll start by paying myself just something, right? 2,000 a month. Or do you kind of give that up for now because you don't have enough money for everything else?
What's your pipeline look like?
Okay, so that's when you get to more questions. And this is why I do this, because I don't think people realize everything is intertwined. You pull one lever, as you would say, spend less. Okay, will that make me more? But then you spent it on something else and you decided to move it from this bucket to marketing. It's like, this is so individualized for every single business. There's not a cookie cutter answer to, well, when should I do this or when should I do that?
Yes, there are definitely symptoms and indicators, right? There, the four main indicators that I love to use. The first one is like, who's raising their, do I know who the individuals are who are following me, raising their hand for the point that I can go and have a conversation and hopefully invite them to become a client. That's the second one. How many invitations am I making? What are those sales looking like? The third one is the when you deliver, what's the effect? Is it meets expectations? Is it above expectations? Is it disappointing, or is it really just pissing off your clients? Right.
If you're finding a pattern that clients are not happy with you or your process or your quality of the work or timeline, whatever it is, pricing, there's symptoms of you're going to continue to go downhill. But if you have every client happy with your work, exceeds expectations, giving you testimonials, you would assume that that's going to continue to go up then.
Right. And those are going to be the ones that if you've been around a while, you can see that, oh man, I did their house back 5 years ago. And now either they're recommending me to friends or they want me to come back and do their basement or they want me to come and do their lake home, something like that. Like the experience was so wonderful.
So focus on giving exemplary service, the delivery of your service, your product. As a designer, your product is you and it's what you're recommending and it's the furnishings.
Yes.
It's
the last one is your ability to be enthused, your restfulness that you gain from the effect of your business. So to reiterate those four, the first one was the effectiveness of your marketing is that somebody is raising their hands or giving you an email address or giving you a follow, something like that, to the point where you can follow up with them, learn more about them, and invite into a sale, invite into that relationship with your business as being a paying client. The third one is the effectiveness of your capacity of that communication, that open communication that you have with your clients. The satisfaction of the product is what they were expecting. The end result is what they wanted and just maybe a little bit more than that, right? They get that delight and not just in the product itself, but the whole process of dealing with you in the meantime. Right. And finally, the effectiveness of your business for you is that it gives you that chance to rest. It gives you the opportunity to grow in your skills and really be satisfied with the work that you are doing.
Yeah, it should be making you happy for the money you're making, right? It should be serving your personal life.
Yes. And by digging into each one of those little symptoms, we can start to find the little piece of the machine that isn't functioning for you and that we can tinker with it. And just because other people do it in expensive ways doesn't mean that it needs to be done in an expensive way for you.
Right. There's very inexpensive ways to market yourself. That's what we teach in the Profit Insider Academy. You teach it. It's like, go back to old school if you're struggling and get your ideal clients through conversation and in person, but really taking care of your cash, and keeping an eye on it is what matters the most. So you know what you have to do, which area you need to focus on, and kind of tweak and fix so that you can continue to grow however you want to.
Right. Yep. We just need to be able to focus your attention on the right places. And sometimes that's really confusing, especially when things are not like feeling like they're gelling. It's really easy to become subject to, well, I saw this guy that's doing X, Y, and Z, so now I have to do that. And without knowing where to put your attention in those 4 areas of your business, it can be very frustrating.
Absolutely. All right. Well, tell everyone what you can do for them and where to find you.
I am Megan Dahle. You can find me at megandahle.com. And I help people see how the money functions, how the resources function in all of these areas of the business so that they can get really creative and excited about how to make it better.
Well, we've been working with Megan on getting closer to our numbers, and I'm not as excited as Megan, but I will say that it's eye-opening and it feels good to be a more educated business owner, understanding the numbers even better. So it's a very helpful process to sit with you a couple of times and really dig in and come out of it with an understanding of your business like you've never had before. So anyone who needs that understanding will reach out to Megan. She's amazing. All right, everyone, we will see you next time. And I think I'll see everyone tomorrow with my Profitable Interior Designer Live with my associate coach, Leslie Myrick. And Megan, we'll see you next time to talk about money.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. See you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.